Yo, 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 what's good with y'all, man? What's good with y'all? What's good with y'all, man? We about to get into it tonight, man. My phone all in the screen. Hold up. Let's see how we can do this. That's better. Yeah, okay. That's much better. Alright. So, what's good, y'all, man? It's your boy AceMaceo, the Divine One. Tonight, we get into this study session. Talking into the kybalion. I love talking about it. I've been saying this for the minute that this is the essential book, the one. But I say that because what it goes over is these universal laws, these universal principles, and they can be applied to anything. On your spiritual journey, you're always going to refer back to these laws. Always going to be referring back to these principles. It's not a matter of them being the end all be all, but these are the essentials. Okay, I would start with chapter 1, but chapter 1 they really just talking about Hermes and the connection to Egypt, but I'm gonna get into that another day, and we're gonna get into a deity study on Thoth, because that's another thing I do with these study sessions. I like just reading right out, because I'm really, what I'm doing here is, instead of just teaching y'all, I'm gonna just bring y'all into the journey, into the study with me. So basically we're just gonna read these books, and then I'm gonna channel how I usually do, because what I'm doing with them is decoding them and taking my notes at the same time. So basically what I want to do is basically bring you on a journey, and we basically just going to explore these occult books, the essentials, the advanced, because really this kybalion is the simple shit. This is really kindergarten shit. This is pre-K. This is really pre-K, but this information can really be taken so far, because I come back to it now, even with the way I get my channels, how I download, decode everything. It always comes back to the kybalion, because it just always applies. This is just the true universal laws, not them 12 that my fellows talking about. I don't know where them last 5 came from. What we're really dealing with is the 7. The 7 always connects. We got the 7 ancient planets, because you can see them with a naked eye. There's just 7 planets. You can see the 7 luminaries: the sun, the moon, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, Mercury. Yeah, that's right. You got the 7 days of the week, 7 continents, 7 seas, 7 sisters, 7 stars. The list goes on and on, but the 7 is the principle, it's the alignment, so we just keep it in line with that. So I don't know where they got that 12, some other universal laws, but these 7 is the key. And these really transcend. It's not about morals, it's not about morality, even though we have a principle of polarity, but that's just what it is. It's just a polarity. So, but these can be applied for whatever is do as thou wilt. That's the name of the law in the occult. So as we begin, is there anything else I wanted to say? Ancients, want to say anything else? Nah, okay. So let's get into it. Chapter 2, the 7 hermetic principles. The principles of truth are 7. He who knows these understandingly possesses the magic key, before whose touch all the doors of the temple fly open. See, now that's crazy, because I just found some shit out about the master key, and I was like, oh, the magic key. You're reading shit different. See, that's the odds. So I'm gonna just keep going there. The 7 hermetic principles upon which the entire hermetic philosophy is based are as follows: the principle of mentalism, the principle of correspondence, the principle of vibration, the principle of polarity, the principle of rhythm, the principle of cause and effect, and the principle of gender. Now, as I'm looking at these, now I'm seeing the numerological correspondences, because you got the principle of mentalism, that's the all is the mind, that's dealing with the one. I'm gonna get into that later, because I say there's really an 8th principle, being the law of the one, not the law of one on that raw shit, but the law of the one, being like the all is the mind, but the singularity. Everybody know about the singularity already. So, but that's that normological correspondence. So you got the principle of correspondences, which is two correspondences dealing with as above, so below. That's two sides. The mirror effect. It looks like an 11. The principle of vibration. That's the 3. The principle of polarity. That's 4. Okay, I'm just kind of seeing the principle of rhythm. 5. That one I understand. Principle of cause and effect. 6. Fusion with manifestation. 7. Principle of gender alignment. Yeah, that's probably a reach. Alright, these 7 principles will be discussed and explained as we proceed with these lessons. A short explanation of each, however, may as well be given at this point. Let me get my man's y'all in these comments is alright. TikTok a different animal. The principle of mentalism. The all is mind. The universe is mental. This principle embodies the truth that all is mind. It explains that the all, which is substantial reality underlying all the outward manifestations and appearances which we know under the terms of the material universe, the phenomena of life, matter, energy, and in short all that is apparent to our material senses, is spirit, which in of itself is unknowable and undefinable, but which may be considered and thought as an universal, infinite, living mind. It also explains that all the phenomenal world or universe is simply a mental creation of the all. That's all I was saying. Subject to the laws of created things, and that the universe as a whole and parts of units has its existence in the mind of the all, in which mind we live and move and have our being. This principle, by establishing the mental nature of the universe, easily explains all of the varied mental and psychic phenomena which occupy such a large portion of the public attention, and which without such explanation are non-understandable and defy scientific treatment. An understanding of this great hermetic principle of mentalism enables the individual to readily grasp the laws of the mental universe and to apply the same to his well-being and advancement. The hermetic student is enabled to apply intelligently the great mental laws instead of using them in a haphazard manner. With the master key, I knew I was reading right. In his possession, the student may unlock the many doors of his mental and psychic temple of knowledge and enter the Sarn freely and intelligently. This principle explains the true nature of energy, power, and matter. I'm gonna stop right there, because when I had read this before I went live, I was like, it's energy, power, and matter that's the true trifecta, because we're dealing with energy, that's the spiritual realm, then you're dealing with matter, physical realm, then the power is your personal will. Good to see you out of jail, bro. They said this nigga Andrew Tate. That is, y'all are funny, bro. I'm not Andrew Tate. Y'all are funny on TikTok. But dealing with the energy, that's the spiritual, it's not physical. All right, then you got the matter, the physical world, what we're dealing with here, and then the power, that's you, the will that's making it happen, bringing the energy into matter, bringing it into the physical. That's the trinity, the trifecta. But I was just thinking about that in the terms of a manifestation sense before I got in here. And why and how then let me keep going. And why and how are all these subordinate to the mastery of mind? One of the old hermetic masters wrote long ago, he who grasps the truth of the mental nature of the universe is well advanced on the path to mastery. And these words are as true as today as the time they were first written. Without this master key, mastery is impossible, and the student knocks in vain as the many doors of the temple. So this is the key, the master key. Understanding that the all is the mind. All is mental. So it's really, when they say your thoughts drive your reality, your thoughts create your reality. You chose this, okay? But all that comes down to is understanding the mind. Something else that I picked up on living. He said, in which mind we live and move and have our being. So he's basically saying Mental nature of the universe. Easy explains all our varied and mental and psychic phenomena. How do I want to word this? So basically, you have. So like things, you know how we have the multiverse, right? We have all these in all these Marvel films. We got the multiverse. We got parallel worlds, all that, right? And with that, it said they live and move and have our being. All of it is happening at the same time. It's happening parallel to each other. It's all a mental thing, so it's all about a mental perspective. So when people say you can timeline shift, you can manifest your reality, you can bring the future closer, all of that, that's all a matter of your awareness and what you're putting your focus on. You feel me? I'm just trying to pick up on all the things that the shit that made me think about. Alright, so number 2, the principle of correspondence. As above, so below. As below, so above. This principle embodies the truth that there is always a correspondence between laws and phenomena of various planes of being in life. So that's all I was saying about the multiverses, the parallel worlds. The phenomena between being in life, the parallel planes. The key word he said the key word here is that they say planes, and that's how I like to think about it, not in terms of planes, but more of realms. What people will say dimensions. So you have the spirit world, you got the astral world, you got the physical world, or if you want to get magical a little bit, you got the world of the MCU. That'd be a dimension, a realm in of itself, a plane. You got the world of DC. You got the world of South Park, the world of Doctor Who, all types of shit. These are all parallel worlds. You feel me? They all correspond. You could really get into how they correspond to each other, but really correspondence is how we get into mythology and the symbology of all these things, because the symbology is all talking to the subconscious. Get some goddamn water. We're smoking that Ukiyo Earf. Ukiyo Earf tastes amazing. But get into the symbology of things with the correspondence. I'm gonna keep going though, so I'm gonna expand. These words, as above, so below, as below, so above, and the grasping of this principle give one the means of solving many And the grasping of this principle gives one the means of solving many a dark paradox and hidden secret of nature. These are planes beyond our knowing, but when we apply the principle of correspondence to them, we are able to understand much that would otherwise be unknowable to us. This principle is of universal application and manifestation. Excuse me. This principle is of universal application and manifestation on the various planes of the material, mental, and spiritual universe. It is an universal law. The ancient hermeticists considered this principle as one of the most important mental instruments by which man was able to pry aside the obstacle which hid from view the unknown. Its use is even tore aside the veil of Isis to an extent that a glimpse of the face of the goddess might be caught. That's a top tier. That's a top tier sentence. It is even tore aside the veil of Isis to an extent that a glimpse of the face of the goddess might be caught. Just as a knowledge of the principles of geometry enable a man to measure distant suns and movements while seated in his observatory, so as knowledge of the principle of correspondence enables man to reason intelligently from the known to the unknown. Studying the monad, he understands the archangel. So that's what I was saying about understanding these stories, understanding the common person. You can understand the spirit, understand the nature of angels, demons, by understanding the mind. That's really what you're dealing with here. Like how he said, I don't know what I'm saying, whoever wrote this, just as the principles of geometry enables a man to measure distant suns and their movements while seated in his observatory. That's the key. is because they're talking about these suns, all these different astrological planet movements, and they're doing that based off geometry and their sight into what's above them, into the sky. But he's doing it below. The geometry is a lower form to understand what's above. You feel me? It's a science. So, like, for example, with constellations, I'm about to get into the zodiacs with this one. With constellations, they all have mythologies and stories to them. Now, with the meanings of those myths, those stories, they all have energetic correspondences. Those energetic correspondences are what goes into that natal chart, into your makeup of your being, because that's what it's all talking about. With the mythology, they're all talking about is you. It's talking about your being. You feel me? There's different parts of the self. So when people be like zodiacs ain't real, the stars ain't doing shit, planets ain't doing shit to you, I was like, y'all don't understand. As above, so below, because you are a star, you are a sun, you are the sun. So with that, if you have all the planets orbiting you in your environment, and you know your environment is what affects you, boom, boom. And all the planets are in different constellations, so all the planets are going to act in the way of, the planets are going to do what they do, but in the way of the zodiac. That's the correspondence. That's how that as above, so below is applied. So now number 3, the principle of vibration. Nothing rests. Everything moves. Everything vibrates. This principle embodies the truth that everything is in motion. Everything vibrates. Nothing is at rest. Facts which modern scientists endorses, and which each new scientific discovery tends to verify. And yet this hermetic principle was enunciated thousands of years ago by the masters of ancient Egypt, Kemet. This principle explains that the differences between different manifestations of matter, energy, mind, and even spirit result largely from varying rates of vibration from the all. So they're all, I like that, the result largely from varying rates of vibration. So it's the same thing, just at different levels. We're seeing it at different levels, which is pure. So from the all, which is pure spirit, the singularity, the one, down to the grossest matter, the grossest form of matter, all is vibration. The higher the vibration, the higher the position in the scale. You get into that music now. Now we're getting into music. The higher notes are a higher vibration. The lower notes have a lower frequency. So like when I talk deep, if you're talking deeper, it's a lower frequency. Even energetically, it's lower. If I get high, start to get the singing, get the hanging, it's a higher vibration, even if I can't sing for real. That's why music got to do the auto tune. You feel me? The auto tune fix everything. Where was I at? The vibration of spirit is infinite rate. The higher the vibration, the higher the position in the scale. The vibration of spirit is at such an infinite rate of intensity and rapidity that it's practically at rest. The vibration of spirit is at such an infinite rate of intensity and rapidity that it is practically at rest, just as a rapidly moving wheel seems to be motionless. Okay, so like when you see in your car move, or you like on how you see wheels move, they look like that form their picture, but they're still moving. So you could see the sun, but you wouldn't notice the sun moving or Earth moving. You couldn't see that, but shit is always like so. So it's basically just going over how spirit is always working, but you may not be seeing it. Your manifestation may be coming through, but you may not always see it. It's always in motion. You feel me? Energy is always in motion. Money is always coming to me. Love is always coming to you. Money is always coming to you. Health and abundance, wealth, prosperity, peace, protection, cleansing is coming to everyone. Coming to me, coming to you. But it's always the flux, the vibration, So even as the highs, all those may come, but I think because I'm trying to give y'all some light. Um, but beyond the poles, there are, and at the other, okay, seems motionless, and at the other end of the scale, there are gross forms of matter whose vibrations are so low that it seems at rest. So even at the highs, it might seem at rest, and even at the lows, it seems at rest. But that's, I think that even lines up with science. I think they call that the rest at the top and the bottom. I think that's right. Between the poles, there are millions upon millions of. Somebody let me know. Between the poles, there are millions upon millions of varying degrees of vibration. Between the poles, there are millions upon millions of varying degrees of vibration. Where is my? Hold on. That needs to be highlighted. Between the poles, there are millions upon millions of varying degrees of vibration. And I want to go back and highlight this ISIS sentence. Actually, was a bar. Alright. Because that's gonna get into the duality, the polarity, and I like how like forming into the next principle that's smooth. From corpuscle and electron, that's terrible. From corpuscle and electron, atom and molecule, to worlds and universes, everything is in vibratory motion. This is also true on planes of energy and force, which are but varying degrees of vibration, and also on the mental planes, which are states whose states depend upon vibration. That's true. And even on the spiritual planes, okay, what was interfering right there, because what was coming to me was I was thinking of waves. I kept thinking about waves, because the vibration, waves, music, and how thoughts are cycles. They come in waves, and how I said the mental states, the planes are all dependent on your vibration. So it's not necessarily about being at a high vibration. I don't like saying high vibration and low vibration. I rather like saying it's just a certain point on the frequency. You just got to zero in on the vibration. It's the vibrator, the energy, vibration, energy signature of whatever it may be, whatever realm it may be, whether it be your own astral temple, your own self, your soul, the vibration of that, not your vibration of your earthly self, with the vibration of your higher self, the vibration of Andromeda, the vibration of Sirius, the star seeds, these different galaxies, vibrations of hell, vibrations of the angelic realms, wherever. It's not necessarily being a higher or lower thing. It's more about just pinpointing, like how I said, between these poles there are millions upon millions of varying degrees of vibrations. They're just poles of the spectrum. An understanding of this principle with its appropriate formulas enables hermetic students to control their own mental vibrations as well as those of others. Alright, so that gets into how your external reality you can't change without changing yourself, right? So if you can understand the energy frequencies that's coming to you, understand it, and you know how to do the transmutation within, and how you react to it, you can understand how the vibration could shift based on your reaction, or how you could keep yourself away, protect yourself, deflect that energy, just simple shit like that. This is really simple. This is really simple shit, to be real. This ain't necessarily too, to me this isn't necessarily a matter of, this ain't deep. When we get into more of the deities, that's where it gets more, okay, this is a little bit more profound. Because how they relate to each other, and how they relate more to the self. These is more of a matter of understanding of it all, but these are the essentials. What I like really doing is that deity studies. That's where we get lit. This is also true on the plane. Okay, so this is also true on the planes of energy and force, which are varying degrees of vibration. Okay, I just read that. An understanding of this principle, which I just read that. The masters also apply this principle to the conquering of natural phenomena in various ways. He who understands the principle of vibration, he who understands the principle of vibration has grasped the scepter of power, says one of the old writers. Now, the thing with this principle is you could really zero in on all these principles, and they could all be a study in of themselves. Which, no cap, I'm gonna meditate on that later on, because now that I'm looking at these, they low key is a science, each and every one of them. But this principle of vibration, because even with the waves, you're dealing with sound, vibration. That's one level to it. But he said you have grasped the scepter of power. Now the scepter, you're dealing with the sword is dealing with truth. Speaking your word, the throat chakra. That's just what that made me do when I seen the scepter. Still thinking about the tarot. Just things that's making me come up and study, so things to think about. I think it said chapter 4, the principle of polarity. Everything is dual, everything has poles, everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Extremes meet. All truths are but half truths. All paradoxes may be reconciled. Get some water. This principle embodies the truth that everything is dual. Everything has two poles. Everything has two poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. All of which are old hermetic axioms. It explains the old paradoxes. The download that just came. Okay, let me finish the sentences. It explains the old paradoxes that have perplexed so many, which have been stated as follows. Thesis and antithesis are identical in nature, but different in degree. Opposites are the same, differing only in degree. The pairs of opposites may be reconciled. Extremes meet. Everything isn't and isn't at the same time. All truths are but half truths. Every truth is half false. There are two sides to everything, etc., etc. So, oh, I like this. Okay, so what came through was, they said the old hermetic axioms. It explains all the old paradoxes. So what I started thinking about was, when people be talking about we're in a new age, we're in a new world, new age of Aquarius, so on and so forth. This will be applying to the old world, but in this new world we're coming more into getting past the polarity, and that's really what a lot of teachers, even myself, what I'll tell you is get beyond the polarity. That's, you want to be beyond the polarity, you want to be beyond duality, you want to be beyond good and evil, because they're only a matter of perspective. Even like this you just said, everything is and isn't at the same time. The pairs of opposites may be reconciled. Opposites are the same, differing only in degree. So good and evil are the same, only differing in degree of vibration, which is only a matter of your perspective on such. They're the same thing, it's just a matter of how you look at it, which you determine, which your mind, the all is the mind, determines. It's how you correspond such. But yeah, now we're getting into a world of getting beyond duality. And another thing that came was, so it said everything has two poles, and another principle was the principle of gender, the principle of gender. So basically what it's gonna say is, because I've read this shit so many times, I just like going over the. I'm a student and I'm always reading. I want y'all to be clear. I'm not necessarily a teacher. I teach, but I'm really a student in this shit. Just like y'all, I'm exploring. So there's always more to learn. So we're just going back through, pick up basics, and we'll get into the advance. But everything is due. Everything has poles that connects to the law of gender, and that's basically saying everything has masculine and feminine in it, right? That's a polarity. In this new age, what we're seeing is people going beyond the polarity in the physical. Okay, so that polarity in the physical is let me say it like this: but seeing beyond the duality in the physical is when you see the LGBTQ. Okay, I'm just saying the changing of the times, what's going on. So that's what I'm saying. I don't have no judgment. My fault. People do what they do. That's their decision. This do as thou will. Let them do them. So I support do as thou will. So, but we're seeing that duality being shifted. So people are transcending their gender. They may be androgynous. They may take up both pronouns. They may shift complete polarities. They may shift the whole shit, or they may transcend it. They may be both. They may know who they self is in their gender, but understand their true androgynous nature. Because the thing is, as a spirit, as a soul, you truly are androgynous. As a soul, spirit in the flesh, your flesh is what turns into the gender. But as a spirit, beyond the duality, beyond the physical, you are androgynous. You are an androgynous being. The original humans, the ancient humans, they were all androgynous. The split was some later shit. Versace, my boy, Versace in the chat. What's up, boy? We're just reading about the chapter on mental gender. See, my boy. See, we in sync. We in sync, my boy. What's good? We in sync. Yeah, confirmation though. So let me keep going though. I want to hit this Ukiyo Earf. This Ukiyo, but this shit tastes amazing. This Ukiyo Earf right here, man. Get y'all soon, man. So I make my own herb packs if y'all don't know. My own herbal mixes. Natural herbs. I use them because they open the mind. They was like alternative to weed, where you can add them to the weed, to the marijuana, to the cannabis. And this shit tastes amazing. But it helps you get into that trance in meditation, or it also helps because it got blue lotus, Damiana, and Malayan. So uneven burn. But I charge them with my own energy, and to help me expand my mind, open my mind more, see more. All right. So where's that? Where's our duality? Okay, so there are two sides of everything, etc., etc. It explains that in everything there are two poles or opposite aspects, and that opposites are really only two extremes of the same thing, with only varying degrees between them. A lot of people be getting stuck in the polarity. They don't be realizing that they're just polarities of the one of the same thing. To illustrate, heat and cold, although opposites, they are really the same thing, just being differences, because it's consisting merely of degrees of the same thing just being temperature. I know I read that a little fast, let me read it again. To illustrate, heat and cold, although opposites, are really the same thing, the differences consisting merely of degrees of the same thing. So you have your hot and your cold, which are the same thing being temperature. You have 30 degrees, then you have 100 degrees. You got night, you got day. Oh! That's crazy. These niggas just move, bro. They just removed my live access on TikTok for. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. I'm low key sick, but hey, when I get it back, 28. All right, so I'll remember that. I'll remember that. But hey, we out here. Yeah, they're the same thing day and night. Shit, that's tough. Well, day and night are same thing. They're just times a day. They're just times a day. Really, night and day are really false. It's really night and day all the time. If you really want to be real about it, the sun and moon are always up there. So it's really no point. So they're really the same thing. But we're talking about polarity. That's more of a rhythm. That's more of a rhythm aspect. But consists more of the same thing. So look at your thermometer and see if you can discover where heat terminates and cold begins. I like that. Look at your thermometer and see if you can discover where heat terminates and cold begins. Because that's really subjective. But that's a nice exercise. That's a nice exercise. Even like energetically, if you can figure out where heat begins. Energy work hand, like just focusing energy in your hand. Like right now I can feel it getting warmer. Now if I wanted to get cold, I'm trying to do it. I need to practice more. But you learn that in Psychomancy. The book is called Psychomancy by Frank Rudolph Young. I got it on Amazon now. But I got the PDF in my Discord. I don't think it's in the free one. It's on my Patreon one. But the Psychomancy, you learn the psychic, the energy work. What I was doing was some simple shit, but you can tee up with that. That all is the mind. That Dr. X, Charles Xavier. That's what they be on. But okay. So there is no such thing as absolute heat or absolute cold, because it's subjective. The two terms heat and cold simply indicate varying degrees of the same thing, and that same thing which manifests as heat and cold is merely a form, variety, and rate of vibration. So heat and cold are simply the two poles of that which we call heat, and the phenomena attendant thereupon are manifestations of the principle of polarity. The same principle manifests in the case of light and darkness, which are the same thing. Hold on, I need to read that back. The same principle. Okay, so heat and cold are simply the two poles of that which we call heat, and the phenomenon attended thereupon are manifestations of the principle of polarity. The same principle manifests in the case of light and darkness, which are the same thing, the difference consisting of varying degrees between two poles of a phenomena. Where does darkness leave off and when light begin? What is the difference between large and small? Okay, before they start getting into between hard and soft, between black and white, between sharp and dull, between noise and quiet, between high and low, between positive and negative. They're all paradoxes. It's a polarity. It's a perspective. Okay, but with the darkness, what I started thinking about was, in the occult they'll tell you about, you want to bring light from the darkness, because the darkness, I said this before, because in science, in old science class, was teaching me about, she was like, the color black is all colors, white is the absence of colors, but they're really the same thing, because white could be the same thing really too, just a higher frequency of the black. But with black being all the colors, you can pull out them all. So right, you can pull out that light, you feel me? But in the code, what they'll say is you want to pull out that light from darkness, and all that really is doing is becoming aware of something you didn't know before. Really, that's really all it really is. You're gaining a new consciousness, a new awareness of something. That was already there. That's a key thing about it, is that it was already there. It's not that it's necessarily new in the world. It's more of, it was really already there. It's just coming probably at a new frequency, at a new vibration, at a new variation. There's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new under the sun. Okay, the principle of polarity explains these paradoxes, and no other principle can supersede it. The same principle operates on the mental plane. Let us take a radical and extreme example, that of love and hate. Let's get into it. Two mental states apparently totally different, and yet they are degrees of hate and degrees of love, and a middle point in which we use the terms like or dislike, which shade in to each other so gradually that sometimes we are at a loss to know whether we like or dislike or neither, and are all neither degrees of the same thing, as you will see if you will but think a moment. And more than this, and considered of more importance by the hermeticists, it is possible to change the vibrations of hate to the vibrations of love in one's own mind and in the minds of others. So it's basically saying, since it's the same thing, and if you understand that, you can do the alchemy to shift it. You can shift the hate to love. It's just a matter of that polarity, how you flip it. That's the power, how I was saying earlier, that power, taking that energy into the matter. So your power, I want y'all, this is a goddamn gem. Your power is seeing energy and turning it into matter. So what does that mean? You decide what matters. You really decide what matters. When people be saying what you give your energy to grows, that is what we're talking about here. Your mind dictates your reality. What you focus on will manifest. That's what we're dealing with here, because the damn channel done ran off. That's funny. Hold on a second. That's fucking hilarious. The channel ran off. That's funny. That motherfucker gone. That's hilarious. Okay, so. Okay, because it's not on the page. So that when you have the energy, right, you give it matter. So what I'm saying by that is, you decide what matters. You give it meaning. That is magic. So when anything happens, whatever you correspond it to, whatever polarity you see it as, that is the magic. You make it matter. So let me go over that again. They was talking about how the mind is dealing with energy, power, and matter. So your energy, your power is taking energy, which is not physical, or that which cannot be seen, and turning it into physical matter. Another way that can be interpreted is, you can take anything and decide what it means. You can take whatever happens, and your power is your perspective and what it means to you, what matters to you. That's how I'm saying. It's the same word, just how you use the word. What matters to you. So in what matters to you, what does it mean to you? That meaning is the magic. That meaning is the magic. What something may mean to me may not mean the same thing to you. Even with everybody on these on the wall. What Kobe means to me may mean something different for someone else. What Hugh Hefner means to me may mean something different to someone else. Same thing with we got Bobby Hemmett, Dick Gregory. Yes, it's a lot of niggas, bro. It's a lot of niggas. It's a lot of niggas. But I need to ask some more, to be real. I really need to ask some more. But we keep on going. Cause that channel ran and I got it back. So I wanna get this done. We got what, 2 more? 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we got 2 more. How long this been? 48 minutes? Okay, this gonna be nice. This gonna be nice. Nice. Let me know how the audio it shit sounded too, man. I hope the audio sounded clean. Let me know if I'm too close to the mic, too far away. Okay, so we were at it is possible to change the vibrations of hate to the vibrations of love in one's own mind and in the minds of others. That is the alchemy, the energy transmutation. That's what they say, the energy transmutation. Many of you who read these lines have had personal experiences of involuntary rapid transition from love to hate, and the reverse, in your own case and that of others, and you will therefore realize the possibility of this being accomplished by the use of the will. By means of hermetic formulas, good and evil are but the poles of the same thing, and a hermeticist understands the art of transmuting evil into good by means of application of the principle of polarity. In short, the art of polarization becomes a phase of mental alchemy, known and practiced by the ancient and modern hermetic masters. Fuck. Damn, shrimp from earlier. An understanding of the principle will enable one to change his own polarity as well as that of others, if he will devote the time and study necessary to master the art. That's what we're doing here. That's what we're dealing here. That's a occult study, the esoteric study. Thank you, bro. Thank you for the right on. It's esoteric study. The occult study is to master the art. Master the art, understanding the polarities, understanding the world, these varying vibrations, the varying degrees, and transcending them. In transcending them, we decide where we want to go. I want y'all. That's a gem. In transcending the various degrees, we decide where we want to go. That's a gem, because in death, you either can come back here or you can decide where you want to go from the various degrees. If you're at the level, because some people have to come back, just part of the plan, but some people may be in their journey to transcend shit, but it may be in their journey. They may have a couple more lifetimes, or they could get the fuck up out of here. Me, But this art of polarization becomes a phase of mental alchemy. Like I said, it's a phase of mental alchemy. So it's just one part of it. But this whole kybalion, this whole study, the principles, universal law, laws of Tahuti, the god of wisdom, magic, my guy, my guy. You feel me? I'm up on the I'm clean. But it's the wisdom. The alchemy is the magic. That's what I was, Okay. Woo! I can feel. I don't know why. I'm too young to be feeling that knee. I'm too young to be feeling that knee. I need to see that correspond. But see, and as above, so below. That's another thing with correspondence. All the different parts of your body correspond to I think they correspond to the planets as well as zodiacs. But I'm gonna see what's up with that knee correspondence. who's coming through, because all those correspondences with the planets and the zodiacs also correspond to spirits and deities. Those spirits and deities depends on who you're working with, so it could be someone new or it could be someone you're already working with. I'm pretty sure it's someone I'm already working with. It could be a sign. And what I've learned recently is that that's one way spirits talk to you, is about some health shit. Some health shit or something in your body. Sounds like how they say your stomach will talk to you. Listen to your stomach. What that's really talking about, shout out to my nigga Brio, because he really put me on this. Listen to your body. Like really listen to your body, or get in tune with your body. Just feel it out and move on that. Move on how your body feels. That's a gem bro really put me on. Shout out my boy Brio. But let's get into this law of rhythm. Get into them cycles. What's your take on Ophiuchus, the 13th zodiac? So the way I look at it is, you have the 12 zodiacs, right? Then the 13th zodiac is the one. He is the Neo. He is Jesus. Because that's really what the 13th zodiac is. The 13 is Jesus. Jesus had the 12 disciples. And he was the 13th. He was the master of the 12 zodiacs. He understood all those energies. He controlled that animalistic nature. Because all the zodiacs were originally animals. 1. 2. Ophiuchus, if you see him, he's holding the snake. He's in control. He's wielding that power. He's wielding that energy. So the 13th zodiac is really, that 13 really is being that control of such, you master of those zodiacs. So I fuck with the 13. I fucks with Ophiuchus. Really, people should take it on, but in the astrological sense, it throws off the balance. It throws off the polarity. So when you're dealing with that cycle nature and you're trying to understand that, you stick with that 12, but you are the 13. Now if a planet is in that Ophiuchus, I forgot the interpretation you got. It's a little bit different interpretation, but I think it's more of how you wield the energy of the planet. In that sense, I would like to invoke Ganesha. Follow me on IG Ace's Temple. I just posted a way you could work with Ganesha. I was like, because I was reading a book and it was saying visualize green elephants and white elephants for clearing, for purity of the mental, and green elephants for attracting abundance and good luck. I just posted that on my IG. And I did some AI art for it as well with the green elephant and white elephant. And you can stare into those pictures. You can work with those pictures, scry into those pictures, and connect with Ganesha that way as well. That's the type of magic I be doing, type shit. That's what pictures, working with the pictures. Or you can simple shit. The most simple way. Om Gum Ganapate Namaha. Om Gum Ganapate Namaha. Om. I'm gonna put it in the chat for you. I got you, G. I'm gonna put the mantra in here for you. Om Gum Ganapate Ya Namaha. Yeah. That's the Ganesha mantra. And just repeat that. And if I can pull up, I'm gonna give you my actual, because today's Sunday, so yeah, when I go to work in the morning, what I do is, on Sundays, I listen to the Ganesha mantra. I listen to that on the way to work. Here it is, yup. And see, now we're about to get into the principle of rhythm. The rhythm is the ritual. It's the cyclical nature. You come up, come down, come right back up. That's a cycle. But when you keep repeating that cycle, what you're doing is generating an energy, and that's how these energies come into being, through that ritual. So through repeating the mantra, through damn, I don't think it made it as a link. But through repeating the mantra, through repeating the ritual, by seeing the symbology over and over again, by seeing pictures over and over again every day, right when I wake up, right when I go to sleep, the energy permeates in my being. It comes into my consciousness. It changes my being. It attracts. It shifts my aura. And this is natural. This is the natural shit people do. So like when people have posters of their favorite artist or their favorite basketball player, their favorite football player, they're doing the same thing already. They're just doing it subconsciously. The magic is making it conscious. That's the sauce. The sauce. Okay. Okay. This long. I'm gonna hit the Ukiyo one more time. Y'all got any more questions, man? Any more questions? Cause I like answering questions. I'm like legit. Because I like answering questions because I got such a vast knowledge base. Lets me pull from wherever, and it always lets me make a quick video, quick knowledge gem people can learn, other people can learn. Cause y'all here right now in the live, but I'm leaving this live up, so people could pick up some more gems. So if y'all got any questions, definitely let me know while we're here. And I don't know how often I'm gonna do this. I want to do it every other night. I could probably do it every night, cause I only want to do a chapter a night. But this shit long. We coming up on an hour, no cap. And it's still a little bit. But we chilling. We cool. We going with the flow. I like this, man. I like this. I'm chilling tonight. I'm feeling good. That TikTok ban I wasn't expecting, but I know that spirit. We're gonna be right back. Up. Okay. Principle of rhythm. Everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides, waves. All things rise and fall. The pendulum swing manifests in everything. That's a goddamn bar. The pendulum swing manifests in everything. Boy, what? They spin. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. The measure of the swing. Ooh, these niggas spin. You said IG banned you? God damn. They own that. The agents. Hey, I'm telling you, when that ban over, come back harder. I'm telling you, that's just a test from the agents. The Matrix fighting back. So just go harder. But that's a goddamn bar. So I'm gonna read that again. Everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. The pendulum swing manifests in everything. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. The kybalion. This principle embodies the truth that in everything there is a manifested. The principle embodies the truth that in everything there is manifested a measured motion, and to and fro, a flow and inflow, a swing backward and forward, a pendulum-like movement, a tide-like ebb and flow, a high tide and low tide. Between the two poles which exist in accordance with the principle of polarity described a moment ago, there is always an action and a reaction. They're flowing with these principles for real, because the next principle is cause and effect. There is an action and a reaction, and an advance and a retreat, a rising and a sinking. Oh my God. This is profound. A rising and a sinking, because in meditation, the way I like to explain the feelings, the sensations of getting into certain states is rising or sinking, or I like to say falling. And sinking and falling is because you're deep into that subconscious. You want to sink into your being. Now, if you want to get out your body, you wanna rise. You feel me? But if you want to, so the way I think about it is, if you're trying to rise, come out your body, you're gonna go into the external reality, into the world around you, that the physical plane domain. But if you're doing internal work, you would sink and fall. That's how I work it. If you know more, enlighten me, please. I'm over here, nigga. I'm at the complete. Oh yeah, okay. I lost my whole fucking spot. Okay, a rising and a sinking. This is in the affairs of the universe: suns, worlds, men, animals, mind, energy, and matter. This law is manifest in the creation and destruction of worlds, in the rise and fall of nations, in the life of all things, in life, death. Everyone comes to death. That's the only thing that's guaranteed, they say, in life is death. Happiness is, all things in life are guaranteed. You decide, though. You decide. This law is manifest in the creation and destruction of worlds, in the rise and fall of nations, in the life of all things, and finally in the mental states of man. And it is with the latter that the hermeticists find the understanding of the principle most important. The hermeticists have grasped this principle, finding its universal application, and have also discovered certain means to overcome its effects in themselves by the use of the appropriate formulas and methods. They apply the mental law of neutralization. They cannot annul the principle or cause it to cease its operation, but they have learned how to escape its effects upon themselves to a certain degree, depending upon mastery of the principle. The mastery of the principle is just understanding it and being in tune with the acceptance of it. And then another thing I just noticed was the neutralization. They cannot annul the principle or cause it to cease its operation, but they have learned to escape its effects. I was about to say the same thing twice, I just noticed. But I'm gonna just keep going. Yeah, I'm just keep going. They have learned how to use it instead of being used by it. There we go. There we go. They have learned how to use it instead of being used by it. So, with magic, how I was saying, with the zodiacs and astrology, your natal chart, you are affected by the stars, the planets. Okay. With transits in real time, you are affected by the stars and planets. People don't be telling people about that one. Or, well, if you're into spirituality, you know about that one. The common person may not know. They may just worry about the rain, the weather. But we're talking about cosmic galactic weather now. That's what astrology is. Astrology is cosmic galactic weather. And the moon has the most effect on the body, on the human, for real. The planets are more a mental thing. And in them changing the mind of people, it is going to affect everyone. It's going to affect the external reality. You change yourself, you change the external reality. So that means regardless if you doing the change, if there's change coming, period. Okay, that's how people can do collective readings, understanding that. But learning how to use it and not being used by it is knowing, okay, I understand today's Monday. I know this moon energy is prominent. Boom. How can I be in the flow of such, or if certain things happen, boom. Like example with myself on Wednesdays is usually the day I fall into channel. I just go into channel. But that's because in my natal chart, my Mercury is in Virgo, and Virgo is ruled by Mercury. And my tropical sun sign is Virgo. So with that Mercury rulership, on Wednesdays, a lot of information is going to just flow, it's going to jump. And that's why on Thursdays I would like do the show and shit. But you use it, yeah, that's what I'm trying to get. By using it is the planetary magic. So you got planetary magic and understanding the energies of the planets. So when these days come up and I understand how energy lined up on a Jupiter day, on a Venus day, I could do a ritual on the Venus hour with all the correspondence of Venus. That's using the nature, using the rhythm, using the pattern is the magic. See, in this and similar methods consists the art of hermeticists. The master of hermeticists polarizes himself at the point at which he desires to rest, and then neutralizes the rhythmic swing of the pendulum, which would tend to carry him to the other pole. All individuals who have attained any degree of self-mastery to this, to a certain degree, more or less unconsciously, have. Let me start over. All individuals who have attained any degree of self-mastery do this to a certain degree, more or less unconsciously, but the master does this consciously and by the use of his will. That's your powers. You being able, your option to decide. That's your will. And you gaining control of such. So, let me stay focused. And attains a degree of poise and mental firmness almost impossible of belief on the part of the masses who are swung backward and forward like a pendulum. This principle and that of polarity have been closely studied by the hermeticists, and the methods of counteracting, neutralizing, and using them form an important part of hermetic mental alchemy. I'm not rereading that. I don't know why that was again. The way they combine the words. 6. The principle of cause and effect. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. So, like I was just saying with the ritual, how to use it. You get those correspondences. You get those elements. That is the cause. You're starting with the cause. How you work with it will determine the effect. There will be an effect. So if you do a ritual, this is really this is something I want y'all to remember later on. When y'all get into y'all like magical workings. For those who shall. If you don't, you ain't got to, but for those who are called to that path. It is working. There is an effect. Every cause has an effect. That is a universal law. You need to understand that. Just always remember, never think some shit didn't work. It's just at what level is it manifesting, in that the manifestation may take a longer time. But there is an effect to every cause. Your cause is your action, which you putting the step forward. As well as, if you want to take this in the past sense, your cause would be your why behind it. Why are you doing this? Your effect would be you doing it. Then to the next step, your cause is you doing it. The effect would be the manifestation. Now the effect has become the cause for something else. Whatever it is, and then it just repeats. That's the rhythm. Ukiyo Earf. Get yours today. At Kermit Herbs on IG, Instagram. You hear them sirens? Yeah. Okay. The principle embodies the fact that there is a cause for every effect, an effect from every cause. It explains that everything happens according to law, that nothing ever merely happens, that there is no such thing as chance, that while there are various planes of cause and effect, the higher dominating the lower ones, still nothing ever entirely escapes the law. The hermeticist understands the art and methods of rising above the ordinary plane of cause and effect to a certain degree, and by mentally rising to a higher plane, they become causers instead of effects. Okay, so remember how I just said that rhythm, they become ritual, exactly. They become causers instead of effects. So when people be like having their world, just letting shit happen to them in the world, right? They're just being effects. But what are you causing? But really, that's not. I don't like that one. Nah. Become causers instead of effects is more of like being an NPC versus being a creator. Being a playable character, being the creator of your reality rather than going with the flow, doing what the system has set for you instead of being a creator. The creators are the causers, the changers. The effects are those who carry out that cause, or those who already in the matrix are trying to stop that cause. So like example, I was smoking the Ukiyo Earf. I guess on TikTok they don't like smoking because I wasn't doing nothing else. I don't know what else they could have banned me for. I don't know if it was the trans talk. I don't know. Even though I was in support. But that's an effects. I'm a causer. We changing shit. But that's an effect of the matrix and whatever they got going on. I'm not attached to this motherfucker. I'm here just a messenger. Cat come in just to pick up some things, pick up some knowledge, bring back to base, bring back to the ancients. So let me go on. The Hermeticists understand the art and methods of rising above the ordinary plane of cause and effect to a certain degree, and by mentally rising to a higher plane, they become causers instead of effects. The masses of people are carried along obedience and environment, NPCs. The wills and desires of others stronger than themselves. Now okay. Spirit just gave that's a line from Spirit. The wills and desires of others stronger than themselves. So this journey of self, the occult, is all about knowing thyself. So you need to understand what is your will and what is your desire. That's something you need to get aligned with and understand. What is your will and what is your desire for real? Not what is someone else's. Are you under someone else's tutelage? What do you really want to do? What do you really want to do? What are you really meant to do? What brings you the most happiness? I'm gonna tell you right now. The other night when I was over here studying this deity shit, I was like, oh my god. The decoding, I was like, this decoding shit, I love this. That in writing, yeah, I've been found my bag. But that's the will, the passion, the desire. Makes you, get you up. Lights a fire under your ass. Word on Azazel, because I know that's who coming through right now. Heredity. Alright, so the wills and desires of others stronger than themselves. Heredity, suggestion, and other outward causes moving them about like pawns on the chessboard of life, the game of life. But the masters arising to the plane above dominate their moods, characters, qualities, and powers, as well as their environment surrounding them, and they become movers instead of pawns. They help to play the game of life. Boy, instead of being played and moved about by other wills in an environment, they use the principle instead of being its tools. The masters obey the causation of the higher planes, but they help to rule on their own plane. In this statement, there is condensed a wealth of hermetic knowledge. Let him read who can. Let him read who can. I don't know if y'all saying much else. What I was about to say. That game of life threw me off. Cause I be saying that shit all the time. But I know now I picked up where that subconscious came from when I read this the first time. But that gamma life philosophy has taken so many forms, like really living life like a video game, really living life like GTA, but understanding what that means. I'm gonna do a video game lecture one day, because even right now what I was thinking about was how you get wasted in GTA but you come right back alive like you didn't die. So when you die, what can happen is two things. You can either die and not even realize you're dead, or the timeline could shift, in someone else's timeline you could have passed, but in yours you survived and you're still alive. That's video game consciousness. That's the game of life for real. But that's the secrets, the mysteries. That's something we can't prove that. Well, we can't necessarily prove that, but on an as above, so below aspect, that's the secrets, the hidden. But saying this is why I do the study, bro, because this is the shit I be thinking about when I picking up from these books. It all corresponds. You may be picking up some. If y'all picking up any gems, let me know. If y'all got your own thoughts, y'all might be picking up some I might have said, man, y'all made you think of something. Definitely share it, bro. This is the spot, the place. We cooking. They use the principle instead of being its tools. So yeah, these are the universal laws. So everything in them are talking about how things in the world are already set. So we're coming upon the principle of gender, and how I was saying we're coming into this new age. And we're seeing the world transcend gender, literally. Transcending relationships, and so we're into a new age. Excuse me. I feel like something to come up. Alright. Coming into this new age. Not the channel running off. Don't run off now, nigga. Hold up. Damn. That motherfucker gone. Damn. It happened again. That's funny. I got y'all. Okay. The principle of gender. Gender isn't everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Gender manifests on all planes. Hold up, nigga. What the fuck? See, we having some psychic shit going on. You need that Pepsi. Yeah, I do. I do need that Pepsi. But this water, I really need that water. Because you see, this water heals me. This water brings me wealth. This water brings me health. And see the magic? I don't know if Pepsi's doing that. I don't know if you can program Pepsi like that, man. You gotta put some sigils and shit on the Pepsi can and shit. Gotta pull out the energy and shit. The water is just pure. You can talk straight into the vessel. With Pepsi, you gotta get through some shit. Well, yeah, okay. The gender download, yeah, that shit gone. Because it was the way I was connecting. It was the way I was connecting the gender download. Yeah, that shit gone. All right, but let me keep going, because we had an hour and 20. I ain't trying to drag this out. I want the future listeners to be able to have a good listening experience. But okay, so the principle of gender. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Gender manifests on all planes. This principle embodies the truth that there is gender manifested in everything. The masculine and feminine principles ever at work. There is true not only of the This is true not only of the physical plane, but of the mental and even the spiritual planes. On the physical plane, the principle manifests as sex. On the higher planes, it manifests as it takes higher forms, but the principle is ever the same. No creation, physical, mental, or spiritual, is possible without this principle. An understanding of its laws will throw light on many a subject that has perplexed the minds of men. The principle of gender works ever in the direction of generation, regeneration, and creation. Everything and every person contains the two elements or principles, or this great principle within it, him or her. So that's how I was talking about. Everyone is truly an androgynous being. On the physical plane, it manifests as sex, so that's being a male or a female. But truly within you, your brain, your right, left hemispheres is talking about masculine and feminine. One side of your body, the left, is logical. Well, not the body. Left side of your mind, left brain hemisphere, is logical, analytical. It's masculine energy. Right side of your mind is creative, intuition. That's feminine. But they're just polarities of the same thing of the mind, which are within you. So this is all talking about the you and how you work. It's as above, so below. Talking about spiritual shit in the physical. We're coming into new age, everything transcending those genders is what I was saying. This ties back to that. So truly you're an androgynous being. So like today now we're seeing people transcend the genders. So you have people who are trans, people may be shifting their polarity, or people may be taking on both. Maybe they, thems, whatever pronouns, they doing them. Do as thou wilt. I'm for it. Do as thou wilt. Not me. I'm doing me. I'm looking for my divine feminine because I'm in my divine masculine. Some people, other shit is different, but it's other philosophies, other ways you can go about it. But that's just for me personally, how I move about it. But I say that's just to complete the whole, complete the other half. Because we're talking about the principle of gender. Every male thing has a female element. Also, every female contains also the male principle. If you would understand the philosophy of mental and spiritual creation, generation, and regeneration, you must understand the study this hermetic principle. It contains the solution of many mysteries of life. We caution you that this principle has no reference to many base, pernicious, and degrading lustful theories, teachings, and practices, which are taught under fanciful titles and which are prostitution of the great natural principle of gender. Such base revivals on the ancient infamous forms of phallicism tend to ruin mind, body, and soul, and the hermetic philosophy has ever sounded the warning note against the degraded teachings which tend toward lust, licentiousness, and perversion of nature's principles. If you seek such teachings, you must go elsewhere for them. Hermeticism contains nothing for you along these lines. To the pure, all things are pure. To the base, all things are base. So that's like today, dealing with the hypersexuality, right? We have this hypersexuality, but we're not looking at it from the spiritual lens. That's the end of the chapter, right? Make sure that's the end of the chapter. Yep. Okay. Is that chapter 2 or chapter 1? Chapter 2. Yeah. It's like today. So like, yeah. Well, I was about to say. So like today, we're dealing with this hypersexuality. The hypersexuality is the problem with it. Isn't that it's hypersexuality? The problem is how the energy is being used, how people view it, how the energy reflects what it's being used for. So what it causes, what effects. So example, so if we was looking at a goddess and she had her breast out, and there's two ways. The niggas could see her and start getting horny, right? Or niggas could start seeing her and getting the symbol of the mother. That's a different looking at it as a sex object versus looking at it as nourishment, nutrition, breastfeeding. See what I'm going with this? Or seeing the vulva, seeing the pussy, seeing the womb, and thinking about creation. See, or again, it's a different aspect to it. Seeing the penis, seeing the phallus, thinking about magic wand, thinking about controlling the will. Controlling the will. Get deep and get into it. But through all of those principles, those 7 principles, those are the foundation of the occult. I don't want to say the foundation of the occult, but the really universe, the universal laws. Word on my man's Hermes, my man's Tahuti, Thoth, in the flesh, in the physical, in Malkuth. Yeah, that's the essentials. You will always refer back to these. You will always refer back to these. I wouldn't say they're necessarily a thing of matter of study, so you wouldn't want to study this all the goddamn time. But what you want to do is remember them principles, understand those principles, and apply them. Your application of them is what's gonna take you farther, not necessarily the principles themselves, the knowledge that's in that book. It's how you apply them, how you apply the principles. What I'm doing with these lives, with these study sessions, is showing y'all how I apply the knowledge, not just reading the damn books. You can read, listen to audiobook, but how you gonna apply the knowledge? What do we do now with the knowledge? Okay, if I look at my TikTok, I got a video on there talking about how each of the principles are connected to different things in life. So I was like, all is the mind. So you can talk about psychology, vibration, talking about music, cycles, time, gender, dealing with relationships. If you understand the laws of gender, how men work, how females work, how those energies work, relationship counseling. Understand how the mind works, psychology, therapist. See how it gets practical now? See how we're getting into that? Law of vibration, law of rhythm. You get into music magic. That's what we do here. AceMaceo, the divine one. Get into music magic with that. It's making these subconscious things, these hidden things. We're getting into the hidden nature of society, of life, of the game of life, and what we're really doing here. Did I talk about the all in this vid? Yes. That was the first principle, was the all is the mind, and I was talking about how it's connected to the one. If I want to go, if we want to talk about it right now for a little second. 1 minute. Hold on. I see 1:30:38. That's the goddess. And it's right when you said it, because he was talking about Ophiuchus, that 13. 38 is the goddess. That's the 38 goddess when I pick up 38. I see the goddess. That's what I'm saying about your energy. Well, the energy, your power, your will is giving it matter, your meaning. So my meaning for 38 is goddess channel. It's my channel, but okay. So for the one, that connects to the all is the mind, as well as I say it's the 8th hermetic principle. That was my channel. I say that would be the 8th hermetic, or the 8th law of Tahuti, because that's what these really are. These are the laws of Tahuti, laws of Thoth. But that law of the one is a reflection. It is in of itself. It is a mirror of the principle of mentalism. The all is the mind. But the all is the mind is saying the all is mental. So like how I be saying, everything in the universe is in Earth. Everything on Earth is in the human body. Everything in the human body is in the brain. So everything in the brain is the mental, is in your mind. All is the mind. As above, so below. Okay. But the reason I say it's a different principle in of itself, it's a different law. And I remember this shit came to me off the shrooms, but that's why I said it's channel. And it's not channel from Raw, how them that law of one, how they channeled it. It was much different. It was more of understanding everything is a singularity. Everything is one. The illusion is all these different aspects, all these different colors, all these different forms, vibrations. That's the illusion. But everything truly is one. It's just understanding and seeing such. But the law of the one, as I put it, the all, is everything. But the law of the one, as I said, is I'm gonna do a video on it. But people should remember. Versace go up later and rewatch this, because I talked about it earlier. But what's getting me stuck up is because I'm trying to remember. Because one night I was writing and I had all the hermetic principles laid out and I was noting them, but what I realized was all of them are connected to that law of the one, but I corresponded it with like each one. So I broke down how the law of the principle of correspondence talks about the one, how the vibration talk about the one, how polarity is talking about the same thing. And even in this book it even talks about that, how they're all various things of the same thing. Even in gender, it said everything has gender, masculine and feminine. The key thing is masculine. The key thing is everything. So that everything is the one. So that's the universality of it. And the reason I would say we go with the eighth principle, because now if we're talking about we're in a new age, we're on some new shit, that 8 would be the new 7. That 8 would be the 7 planets plus Earth. What is Earth? What would Earth be astrologically? That was a question that someone had asked early on in my spiritual journey. And over time, what I've came to realize was astrologically what Earth would be is the manifestation of all things in the universe, all things in existence being in one place. So all those different planets, how they all work, if you was to put them all together, you would get Earth. They try to say the sun, but the sun is where it comes from. The sun is a little bit different. Sun would be the self, but the Earth is more universal. Earth is more galactic. Earth is very symbolic. So like example, you have all these different aliens. People be talking about all these different alien races. My as above, so below aspect on it would be, we are those aliens. People be talking about the aliens coming back, the ancients coming back. We are the ancients, how Bobby was saying. We are them Syrians. We are those Lyrians. That's how, like, when I do these deity readings, I can tell a female, I was like, just by looking at her, I can be like, you are Sekhmet. Then she'd be like, she like cats. Favorite book is The Warriors. Shit like that, like symbolic, subconscious nature, as above, so below nature to things. But like I'm saying, we are these star seeds. That's the as above, so below. But yeah, that channel ran off. There was something else I was gonna say, but I'm getting tired. 10:01 on my other clock. That's not even the right time. That's probably the time in LA, cause I don't know where that time is, to be honest. But I'm finna slide out of here though, y'all. Right off for coming through, sticking through, reading with me, studying with me. I'll be back soon. What am I gonna read next? I don't know if I'm gonna pick up. I don't know if we're gonna finish this. These are straight study sessions, so it's not necessarily about finishing the book or staying on track with certain things. It's more about getting the knowledge. So like if I was to sit here and read a novel like Illuminatus, because I will be getting into Illuminatus and reading that, gems. I'm probably gonna sit and read through. We probably gonna sit and read through that one for sure. But for sure, we definitely gonna get in with these study sessions, these readings, these book ones like the Kybalion and certain other books. There's a couple books I can do. I'm gonna leave them up for free for the study. I'm gonna leave up so other people can pick up. The deity studies though. Deity studies, it depends. It depends on the deity. Depends on the deity and what comes through. Because some should be coming through. It be such. I'd be like, niggas ain't ready for this. But with Pam, I will do the Pam one. I'm either gonna do that in a video, so it's right, or but yeah, but don't worry about the study sessions with the deity shit, because I'm always be live, and y'all come through, y'all see them. So like next time, I'm probably gonna do a deity study session on Thoth, Tahuti, because we're on the Kybalion. We're already in the energy. Our bro is already in energy. I would do it tonight, but I gotta work in a couple hours. I'm really supposed to be asleep. But you know how it goes. Yeah, they'll catch me. Yeah. So anything else? Nah. Make sure y'all join the Discord. Tap in with them free resources. The Kybalion is in there. The PDF is in the Discord. So definitely join and get that. Y'all can read along for next time. Let me know what books y'all want to see me read. What else y'all would like me to read? Shit, y'all might put me on some new shit. I might have some shit we could just sit here and study. What y'all want to learn, man? Cause yeah, it's all a journey. I'm sharing my knowledge. Y'all share what y'all want to do. We can work something out. You feel me? But yeah, join the Discord. Follow us on IG. Tapping with that art, man. That art is some sauce. That art is some sauce for sure. Don't sleep on it. Anything else? New beat tape, Ace Tape Volume 5 just came out, man. Go meditate to that. Healing frequencies, esophageal frequencies. Go take a trip within yourself. The tape, magically what it does is it energizes and it clears your energy bodies. But you gotta listen to the whole tape all the way through to get that effect. But if you listen to one track, just pay attention to the frequencies and you'll see what it does. So like example, 417 hertz, that's dealing with the sacral chakra. 528 hertz, solar plexus. 639, heart chakra. 741, throat. 396, root. 852, third eye, and 963, crown. But they're all in there. Just I got they start in order, and the order shifts. But that's intentional. I'm gonna talk about that in the future. But everything is intentional. So, I'm gonna get with y'all later, man. Y'all have a good night. Thanks for watching in the future. Y'all always come through. And yeah, man, y'all take notes. Get in y'all study. Learn more about yourself. Empower your will. Be the divine one that you are. Be the one. And